Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. Today, we're going to be talking about everything that's going to be coming up until the first anniversary. That's going to be units, VC, events, raids. We're going to detail it all, give you guys a sneak peek, and I hope y'all are ready and excited. This is going to be probably one of my longer videos. We're going to start out with what might be coming next week. And just looking at what's coming, in the more immediate future, we do have the Final Fantasy XIV raid at some point. It is a 3-week event, I believe. So it might come next week. It might come the week after. This raid's going to be pretty easy compared to most of the raids we do. The enemies are going to be weak to light element, dark element, slashing, so most people have some type of composition. The raid boss also does not go to a higher level than I believe it's level 80, so you're going to be able to bust this raid out pretty quickly. The gear you're going to get is called the Veil Bergenet. It's going to give you disable resistance, which of course is going to be really important for Dwayne in the meta right now, and it's going to give pierce resistance 10% as well. I would recommend going for the shield variation, which gives 18 defense and 4 spirit. Something to look at. You can also get the barrier version, which gives 9 defense, 8 spirit. I think the shield's going to definitely be the way to go. Now, the Siren raid, y'all have heard me talk about this. This was released with Nibbles over in JP, so this could be next week. It could be the week after as well. We could see at some point a double raid coming up. It does drop the Elf Cloak, which gives increased confusion resistance 25% when it's fully maxed out at +5, and it also gives pierce resistance 10%. Really good against Agrius, right? If you're thinking about Agrius's limit break. It does have a dodge variation, which gives 14 evasion. Almost all of the forms of it do give 14 critical evasion as well. The the shield version of it gives 16 defense. So all around, it's a really good piece of gear. Now, the Siren raid, though, is going to be a little bit tricky. She does have 25% slash resistance. She is weak, 15% to magic. Probably the biggest problem with Siren is that Steal Time doesn't work on her, and that she also has slash resistance, weakness, resistance. So if you're used to just running in and lowering her resistance to slash attacks, that's not going to work. Now, on top of that, she also has increases all resistances to debuff resistances, so all attribute resistance weaknesses. The best way I've seen to go about this raid is to basically have a Nibbles and have her go in and use her limit break to lower the defense, and then chain double shot with Frederica and Nibbles. Now, I'm not sure if attribute resistance, weakness, resistance means that we're not going to be able to lower darkness resistance and stuff. Not fully sure what that means. The translation is a little bit weird when I translated it. So potentially with Dwayne, I think no though, because otherwise we would see Sid for lowering thunder resistance a lot more. So something to think about when you are looking at Siren and you're thinking about the raids for the near future. Now, probably coming next week, I would bet, I'm going to bet that this is going to come out next week, is going to be the Leviathan Esper and VC and the Church Thug card. Now, the Leviathan card is kind of going to be the advent of a new Esper meta in a way. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the card. So the card's going to give specific units, depending on their class, attack plus 10%. And then depending on their class as well, they are going to get an ability, which is an 195%, increases damage as HP, decreases attack. And then party-wide, it's going to give pierce resistance up 20%. It's also one of the only VCs that's going to have defense actually in the primary stat of the card. Now, this is interesting. It's a card that's needed to really counter the pierce meta, but the Esper is where it gets really interesting because you begin to see this transition to a meta where Espers are actually going to be having more to do with elemental affiliation. And I didn't put this on the I didn't put this in the actual kind of what you're seeing right now or the actual presentation, But Leviathan does get water attack up on his Esper. So we are going to see a transition to Espers like Leviathan, Espers like Typhoon, Espers like Bahamut, where they're going to get really elemental bonuses or elemental attack bonuses. Along with this, the Church Thug card is going to be coming out. It's going to increase evasion rate 10, and then it's going to give attack resistance 15 for allies. This is going to be like a kind of dumbed down version of Odin. If you don't have Odin, if you're maybe a newer player, or you've just had really bad Odin luck, this is going to be a really good card for you, and I would definitely consider leveling it up. It does have agility on it as well. So even if you're not like a normal, like if you're someone who does like a lot of agility tuning, I'm thinking about a lot of the whales out there, a lot of the krakens out there. This is going to be a really good card for agility tuning, right? It would be an easy substitute for Odin, an easy way to increase 3 agility on your units. Now, also coming potentially next week or the week after is going to be the key events. Now, we already know the key events are programmed into the global side, and essentially what these are keys are going to be given to us to unlock different things that have been, or really should be, easily accessible for a certain amount of days. So that's going to be specifically the Rune Blade, the Jewel Ring, the Golden Armor, the Sage's Hat, the Wolf's Mask, kind of this gear that's really bread and butter that should be accessible all the time. You're going to get keys, and you're going to either be able to get them through events or through shops, and you're going to be able to unlock those specific events in 3-day increments in order to farm them if maybe you need Sage's Hat, or maybe you need Wolf's Mask or something like that. So this is going to be really good for a lot of players, so I can't wait to see this come out. We're also going to be getting a new arena map, which does specialize in light element attack up. So just brace yourself for that. Specifically, I know a lot of you guys have been leveling your Scions of Shadow card. This is going to pair really well with that, so watch out, because light element units are coming here in the next couple of days whenever the new arena rolls out. Challenge Mission 3. If you didn't see my Challenge Mission 2 video, I love these missions. They give you rainbow vision fragments, they give you rainbow fragment rocks. They're just incredible. They're fun, they're challenging, they're like the top end PvE content that I enjoy. So that's going to be coming out. And then of course we have a new class match with new rules. Cost limit 540, quick is invalidated, CT up and down are invalid, and then healing power 15% down. Pretty interesting. I'm sure that's going to change things up quite a bit. Then finally, the moment everybody has been waiting for, I'm sure, Sakura and A-lim are going to be coming out. Now, Sakura, if you don't know, just to give you like a quick TLDR about her, Sage of Mystidia class, she does come from Brave Exvius. Her mastery ability is going to give light attack plus 15 for light allies, defense 10 for self, and increase HP 10% for light allies. She is the advent, the beginning of light meta in the game. She's coming. She's here. It's happening. Her kit is very interesting because it does ignore fatal damage for targets, so it is going to be very powerful, very relevant. She also gets a combination of light and lightning element abilities. So even though she is a light element unit, she does have access to lightning attacks, which makes her one of the few dual element units in the game, which I personally think makes her super cool. Now, along with Sakura, we are also going to be getting A-lim. A-lim is very similar to Selir in that she is a double cost MR unit. I personally am really excited for A-lim because she is a Dragoon. Her mastery ability is also really important, giving lightning attack 15 for lightning allies, giving HP 10% for lightning allies, and increasing attack resistance 10% for herself and evasion 10% for herself. I mean, we are kind of seeing, and like I feel like the lightning meta has always been strong, not in terms of like, you know, it's gonna dominate, but it's always been there, right? Like we've always had Sid that's kind of been there. We've always had Frederica, and now we're gonna have A-lim to add on to Selir as well. So I feel like Lightning is just like maybe just a little bit below Light and Dark Element in terms of capable compositions. So I am very excited for her. And a Dragoon with the tune-up ability is going to be very interesting. Now, along with Sakura is going to come some quality of life changes that all of you have been waiting for. Specifically, this is going to be the change for MR Awakening materials and rainbow fragments. So we are going to be getting access to the stones that we can use instead of rainbow fragments. And there is a picture here showing you that when you do go to the enhanced menu, you can still use rainbow fragments to upgrade units, or you can say, nah, I want to use some of my other fragments. Now, along with this, we are going to get the Tyrell repeat event, which will be coming with the Mage Masher. We're also going to be seeing the return of Coral Sword and Platinum Mace, and we're going to see the Magicite event. There are some other quality of lives that are going to be coming, and specifically it's going to be basically for raids. So I'm actually wondering if, since the quality of lives are going to be coming for raids, if we're actually going to see this update with Sakura, or if this is actually going to come earlier, like next week or the week after, when maybe we're doing like the Siren raid or the Final Fantasy XIV raid. I imagine they're probably going to come in sequence, but basically we're going to get a pity gauge for the specialty raid that we are doing. So for example, you know, if Tomberry's the special unit, we're going to be doing the raid, and every time the gauge will fill, and then we'll get a guaranteed Tonberry. This is really going to give a lot more Tomberries to the community. Seems pretty cool. I'm excited for it. I love the changes that they're making to raids. We're also going to get increased faith value fluctuations in guilds and barracks, changed from falling to target settings. So not sure what that means. I'm sure we'll find out. Sorry, the translations are a little bit jank, everybody. We are using Google Translate. So if any of you guys have input, make sure you throw it down below. I'm sure there's a lot of JP players that do watch my channel. Now, after Sakura, we are going to be getting probably two of the VC a lot of people have been waiting for. That's going to be Black Rose Helena and the Frozen Icebird. For me, Black Rose Helena is a must-get VC. It's going to give Spirit up, Magic up. It's going to have Accuracy 10. It's going to give the ability Shadow Flare, which is going to knock units back, and it's a huge AoE. It's also going to decrease area resistance for those units, and it's going to give party-wide agility 15%. We haven't seen a card with this much agility since the Final Fantasy Tactics Ramza card. You need to get it. I mean, if you are doing agility tuning, if you are doing live PvP, this card is going to be essential. You must get it. Now, the Frozen Icebird, I think, is very essential as well, because it also gives a party effect of Ice Attack plus 20 for allies, and it gives the individual unit Ice Attack plus 15. I mean, ice units have always had the benefit of weapons with Ice Attack on them, so being able to get the Frozen Icebird and add Ice Attack on to either enhance, like, for example, solo ice compositions when you're doing raids solo, or solo Trials of Reckoning compositions, going to be right up your alley. You're probably going to want this. I know there's a lot of people that run mono ice teams and have mono ice teams paired with Gilgamesh, paired with Rosa, you know, lowering ice resistance, lowering slash resistance. I have a feeling this card, even though it's only an MR, is going to be, you know, very, very much one of the more powerful cards that are out there in the future. Now, we are going to be getting Chapter 11 and 3, Section 3. The reason I'm saying Chapter 11, Section 3 is because I want the timing to be really clear, because it seems like the timing is pretty coordinated with this. Tower is going to be re-releasing, and it's going to be unlocking floors 31 to floors 40. This is very fun content. Again, lots of fun PvE content coming down in the next 2 months. You're going to be getting another EX4 at the top floor, which is going to be against Igaion. And then at the top 40th floor, you are going to be going up against Diablos. If you have already cleared to floor 30, and I believe you have to have beaten the EX on floor 30, maybe not. you will automatically start at floor 30 again. Now, if you're like me and you made it to floor 30, did the EX, reset, and then you stopped at like floor 15, it will still recognize that you have cleared up to floor 30 and it will start you at floor 30. So definitely hyped for that. We will definitely be making a Dr. Diggs tower guide, and I'll be modifying floors 1 through 30. The special gear you're going to be getting from this is going to be called Mako's Bracelet. It's going to increase dark resistance 20% for self, increase light resistance 15% for self, and then you're going to be a little bit weaker to poison and doom. However, this is only going to be for light element units. It's also going to give attack 80 and magic 80, which is basically like the Tide Ring. It's a pretty good piece of gear. I mean, dark resistance 20 is, I mean, there's so many dark units. Light resistance 15%, even if you're a light unit. With the light meta coming, you need this, right? It's just, it's a must-have. Important note about tower as well, floors 1 through 30 will not be changing, so don't anticipate any changes to previously. After this, we will be getting Lardo, and oh my god, I have to check her name, Elshura. Lardo and Elshura will be coming out. Now, Lardo is kind of the beginning of the return of, well, or actually, it's more like the birth, I guess, of a hand-to-hand, not even meta, but like a hand-to-hand composition, maybe is the word to put it. He's definitely going to be interesting. I don't think he's going to be the birth of a new meta, but I feel like he's the unit that's going to be here for when the hand-to-hand meta comes in the future, if that makes sense. Now, there's a lot of reasons we could get into why I think the hand-to-hand meta isn't coming for a while, but let's just talk about what he brings to the table. Lots of close range attacks, lots of attacks enhanced by how many times he's been hit, lots of defense penetration, strike attack up, primary job fighter, secondary job paladin and thief. So he's going to have high defense, high movement, so he's going to be able to get in there, close the gaps. His mastery ability is going to be HP 10% for fire allies, fire attack 15 for fire allies, and defense penetration 20 for self. Very interesting. Kind of exciting that it's like a new meta unit, or like a new type of meta potentially for the future. We also have Elshura coming out, who is one of the highest rated MRs in JP, and I haven't quite figured out why yet. I have no doubt it has to do with her kit, but her kit seems no different than, say, Phoebe's kit or, you know, any of these other Time Mage, White Mages that we have. And in some ways, her kit even feels inferior to some of those units. Now, it might be because of her mastery ability or her capability to have access to Sub Rune Knight. I'm not really sure. Her Time Mage kit is a little weird as well. She only has access to Quicken and Stop, really. And then her haste and slow are locked behind her sub job, which is weird. Her mastery ability, though, does give light attack 10 for light allies, magic 20 for herself, and accuracy 15 for herself, along with HP 10% for light allies. So, I mean, she's going to fit into that light meta, but as far as I can tell, like, you could give her light attack up, but she's primarily a time mage, so her attacks are going to be non-elemental, unless you sub her Rune Knight or unless you sub her White Mage. But I don't know. I haven't quite figured out why she's so highly rated. I mean, White Mages and Time Mages are always going to be good units, but her kit just seems a little bit off to me, and I haven't figured out what that specific niche is that she's going to fill. I'm kind of excited to check it out. Along with Lardo, we are going to be getting a Lardo event, which will of course be giving us the Kaiser Knuckles, which will be his primary weapon. It'll also be the strongest hand-to-hand weapon in Global that will be released. It increases strike attack 15 for self. This is going to be released coinciding with Chapter 12, Part 1, and we are hopefully going to get the global release of the War of the Visions art book. Otherwise, I'm going to have to order it from Japan, and I really don't want to do that, because with COVID, it's just going to be a pain in my ass. A lot of people very excited for the Typhon card here. We're also going to be getting the Memories of Apple card next for the next banner after that, or on the same banner, sorry. Magic 167, luck plus 10% on the individual unit, and wind units get magic plus 30%. Party-wide effect is going to be magic attack plus 25, accuracy plus 15. Now, an important note here, because a lot of you are only seeing what I'm putting and displaying, is that Typhon was released almost identically with Halloween Little Leela. So in JP right now, they were actually having the Halloween event. So there's probably going to be like a Valentine's event that slipped into here somewhere. But Typhon was released literally either the week before or the week after Halloween Leela came out. And a lot of people knew that Typhon was really good for Halloween Leela. So when we get Typhon out, I actually have a feeling and like a gut instinct that we might get a Halloween Leela specific ability on it. Maybe not, since she's a limited time unit. Kind of hopeful that, I mean, this card's going to be amazing for her. And if you have Halloween Leela, I mean, you have to get Typhon, right? Because he's going to be an amazing Esper for her. He's going to be an amazing VC for her. Memories of Apples, on the other hand, interesting card. Individual unit effect is going to give critical hit rate plus 15. Durando's going to get a buff, but nobody uses Durando, not even me. And it's going to give party-wide AP up 30 for allies. So, you know, it's there. That's kind of how I feel about that MR card. It's no Ice Bird, right? Like, the Ice Bird I would like way better than this card. So that's kind of my gut reaction when I'm looking at these. But Typhon, big deal, right? Very big deal. Now, the new raid after the Typhon card is going to be Golem. Now, the Golem raid is potentially going to be the advent of new bonus units. Again, though, they might change this and they might add bonus units to the Siren raid that comes out as well, I'm hoping. But I imagine just the way it's coded, they're going to be going for the Golem raid anyway. The bonus units are going to be Halloween Leela, Howlet, King Elda, and Helena. And I'm not sure who Adler is. Adelard, maybe? Again, remember, this was the time when Halloween Leela was being released, right? And Howlet had just been released. Because the release schedule in JP, like in Global, we had so many limited units and global exclusives come out that, you know, the last 4 weeks in Global have pretty much not happened, right? So if you throw the last 4 weeks out, Howlet is actually a pretty recent and relevant unit, right? So our timeline is kind of catching back up to JP right now. Golem is going to be probably an easier Esper or raid to do. He does have missile resistance, 25% slash resistance, but he doesn't have slash resistance down resistance. He doesn't have steal time immunity from what I could tell. And he's 15% weak to magic, so you can probably put together like a little Leela or a Howlet composition or a Yerma composition to take him down. Tomberry, I mean, you can use Lardo. Everybody's just going to throw Rain in and go nuts, right? So Tomberry, the add-on, should be really easy to handle. A Defense Bracer is going to be the gear that comes from this. It is going to give Disable Resistance 15% for self, and it is going to give Missile Resistance 25% for 3 turns to self. I'm not sure if that gives you an ability or if it's like a buff that procs at the start of battle. It'll be interesting to see. It is very relevant if you consider that we are going to be getting 2 missile-relevant units that I am going to be talking about here in just a little bit. The stats on it, pretty good. Defense 16, Spirit 6 for the shield version. It does have an aim version, but honestly, if you're going aim, you're probably better off going either, you know, one of the aim pieces of gear we've gotten relevant recently, or, you know, something along those lines. Talking about the gunner units, though, that are coming out, we will be getting the new free unit for everybody. And this unit's name is Craith, but I actually, you know, when I've looked at it translated in different ways, it also means Wraith. So I'm wondering if we're going to see the name translated differently in Global. Mastery ability increases water attack 10 for water allies, increases HP 20% for self, area resistance 10, and HP 10% for water allies. This is definitely one of the best free units I think we've ever gotten. She is going to have access to arm shot and double shot in her primary kit, which is going to be really good because that means she can sub sniper and benefit from the sniper abilities and still be able to chain, right? I personally think this also makes water chaining even easier because you are going to be having access to double shot. So now you have double shot, you have Glaciella, you have Miranda with resistance break. Like, it really just kind of pushes water just that little bit further. Keep in mind, water is one of those elements that has a lot of mastery abilities through both Craith and through Christmas Ramada, right? Who can also use the Exorcist VC for triple trick for more water chaining. So there's just, you know, while it might not be the meta, it might not be the best, just something to think about. I'm excited for Craith. Not going to be world changing, but it's going to be a really fun water unit compared to, say, Tyrell. The ribbon event will be coming back, and I know a lot of people, you know, they missed out on the ribbon or they want to farm more ribbons, and the ribbon event is going to be a little bit different as far as I can tell this time around. There's going to be bonus VC as well as bonus units, and the bonus units have changed, but thank God Ruinstern is one of the bonus units under Big. Halloween Ryryu, extra large, and I had actually seen a Earth composition auto clear the ribbon event previously. So, you know, you might actually see, you know, those of you that have Halloween Ryryu, you might actually see him being used. Other than that, Craith is a bonus unit. You're probably not going to be using any of the others. For VC, the Exorcist card, if you do have the Exorcist card, right? Because this is, you know, in Japan's timeline, I feel like I'm talking about alternate universes right now. The Exorcist VC did just come out. Two-headed dragon is going to be a bonus, which, I mean, great. We're going to be using two-headed dragon and Stern probably for this anyway. And the other card, God, I can't even remember, like, the name of this card. It was supposed to come out with the Exorcist card in Global, and I'm pretty sure it didn't. I've never seen it before. The Killing Flame Dance Morales. So we might be getting that coming out. I'm not sure. It'll probably be like squished together with another card. Maybe they'll do like Typhon and this, and, you know, who knows. And also Secret Life. I mean, Google Translate again, right? Secret Life. I don't know if that meant like Birth of New Life or Secret Orders. I mean, again, they're both, we'll probably find out at the event. Not as relevant as knowing like Exorcist and Two-Headed Dragon, right? So just keep that in mind. Those are also bonus VC. And from what I saw as well, when I was reading through the information, it looked like it only took the highest bonus from each category. That might have been the raids though. So I'm pretty sure that was the new raid bonus system, not this system, because this system changed with the bonus VC as well, right? So whenever this event comes around, whenever the bonus raid system comes in, whenever the bonus Trials of Reckoning system comes in, it's going to be really important to read over all of those small details, and I'll probably make videos warning you guys about them. This is just kind of, you know, your general overview video, but yeah, just keep your eyes out on those small little details because they are changing things just a bit. Also, for those of you that want to farm your ribbon ingredients ahead of time, I just have the +5 needed right there on the right side. Garble and Elsireil will be coming out after that. And if you guys didn't know, Garble's new name is Gerbil, just like Niv's new name is Nibbles. Courtesy of this Photoshop does go to Queen Druid, if you guys are familiar with them. Garble's, or Gerbil, is going to be the kind of the release of the Manipulator job. He's going to be Kododama and Red Mage. His mastery ability, going to give Dark Attack 15 for Dark Allies, increase Magic 20% for self, and HP 10% for Dark Allies. Pretty good, right? You want him. His kit is weird. It's like a combination of shooting attacks, missile attacks, sorry, and magic attacks. And it's very high range, but they're all modified by magic. So he's going to be a character that is, I don't know how to phrase this. You're going to have to be careful what abilities you're turning on and off, what abilities he's using. Very similar, I think, to Howlet and to Halloween Ryryu, right? Where the Rune Knights are kind of like both slashing and magic, depending on how you have them built. And, you know, you're going to get modifications for the different, like, you're just going to have to be extra aware with him. And I'm not sure how relevant, you know, that might be, right? If you consider dark units, though, most dark units are modified by dark attack, right? So you might be running like a 3-man dark comp with Garble, and instead of running like a plus magic card, maybe you're going to run Diablos and then like attack resistance cards, right? In that case, it doesn't really matter what you turn on and off because it's all going to be modified by the dark attack. So there's some interesting elements here and things to think about as we are approaching this kind of mono element meta that will be happening. Elsireil, very interesting unit. Very beefy. She's going to be a primary job Nightblade, secondary Spellblade, and dual gunner. Mastery ability, of course, is going to give light attack 15 for light allies. Give HP 10% for light allies, accuracy 10 for self, pierce and missile resistance 5% for herself. Her abilities are going to have a lot to do with defense penetration, decreasing healing power, healing herself. You know, she's going to be kind of a tanky, beefy unit. I've heard she's like the second piece to light meta, right? She's going to be a unit that can take hits, you know, go toe-to-toe with Dark Element, kind of defend Yuna in the background while also buffing Yuna. So, very relevant unit. I think, you know, it's interesting that they're both URs on the same banner because really you're going to want to pull for Elsireil, I think, over Garble. But we'll see. We'll see. Finally, we made it almost. We will get one more event, which will be the Diablos raid. We will also get the Ramada card, and then we're finally there. We're finally at the 1-year anniversary for War of the Visions. Y'all know what this means. That means Final Fantasy X will be coming out. There are some things we don't know. We don't know if maybe we'll be getting swimsuit units making an appearance. We don't know, you know, if maybe we'll be getting Valentine's Day units. Hiroki has also hinted that we might be getting another global exclusive sometime soon, potentially with Sakura's release. I know a lot of people have been calling that a Brave Exvius global exclusive with Sakura's release could be happening. We also don't know if Final Fantasy X is going to be the collaboration for EX units. I think it probably will be, but there's also the possibility that Nier will be the collaboration as well. The reason I say that is because we know for a fact that the first year anniversary is going to be in March sometime, right? We also know the Nier remake game, and I can't remember what it's called. Not the mobile game, but the Nier remake game is going to be released in April. So that's coming out. I think it's PS4 and PS5. I'm not 100% sure. But we know that will be coming out in April. So it would make sense to me to do a Nier collaboration, you know, when we know that there's a re-release of a Nier game coming out. So my theory is that we might be getting Nier instead of Final Fantasy X first. I don't think it would really change things much. It would definitely push Yuna further back, which would be, I think, healthy for the game. But yeah, lots of things to think about, lots of things going on. I hope you guys like this video. This is probably the longest video I've ever done. So kudos to all of you if you've actually made it through this. As always, if you do want to support me, make sure you go to dig.gs/coins and use my Amazon coin affiliate link. If you like this video, come by my Discord, come by my stream, say hi, drop me a sub on YouTube, you know, it's all good, fam. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go relax because it took me all day to put this together. Have a great rest of your day.